So this is going to be a very different video. I became a millionaire in 2023, and at the same time, I thought I was going to be so happy. I thought I was going to be so proud. I thought I was going to be overjoyed, and I thought all my problems would ultimately melt away. They didn't. For as long as I can remember, that was my goal, right? I remember being 17, 18, making my first little bit of money, thinking, I want to be a millionaire. And I remember originally I had set my goal for 21 or 22. And at that point in my life, I was in this completely other way of living, right? Like during college, I took 5 months where I studied abroad in Singapore and I traveled through Asia. Really, during that period of my life, I was way deeper in self-improvement, spirituality, and finding out other things about myself. The cliche go to Asia, find yourself kind of vibe, rather than making money. So although I had sidetracked on the goal of millionaire by 21, 22, then when I came back from that, I had a renewed sense of, okay, I've realized I now really want to do it more than I did before, and I'm going to do it fast. And yeah, I did it by 25. So the point of this video is not to explain to you how to become a millionaire. That's not my goal here. My goal more so is to open up to you about what it's actually like. Because you watching this video, I'm assuming you're not a millionaire, right? I'm assuming you don't have a million spread out between your assets, cash, etc. And you probably would think that if you get to millionaire, that you'll be really happy, right? Like you would imagine you never think about money, you probably never stress about it, and you'd imagine a lot of your worries really just go away. Like they just poof, vanish, voila. And this video was actually inspired by another guy on YouTube, Charlie Morgan. So shout out to you, Charlie. I've watched some of your content and it's really, really good. Really like it. And you talked about a very, very similar topic, which was that the success of your coaching business has kind of made you hate yourself. And I can really understand why you think that and how you feel that. And I agree to an extent. You see, when I look at my life, before I started business and when I was deep in self-improvement and literally all the cliche things you hear, such as cold showers, meditation, visualization, hopping in the ocean in Ireland, super fucking cold, doing all of the hard things. I did that because the years before that, I was really depressed, right? And I actually just recorded a training for my program specifically about this, about my struggle with depression in the past. I won't go into it too much in this video, but when I was 16, 17, I had severe acne. And I say severe because to other people, it probably didn't look that bad, right? They probably would have looked at me and thought, yeah, this guy's got a few spots. It is what it is. For me, my self-identity was completely fucked up by the acne. Like I viewed myself as the ugliest person on earth. I viewed myself as someone that would never be happy. And I truly believed that. I'm not just saying that. Like I literally believed happiness was not meant for me. So I went from this period where I was suicidal, did not want to live, even though I had an amazing family, an amazing support system and friends that really cared, to then going the complete opposite direction. So I went from down here to I had this light bulb moment, like this flip of a switch. I remember I was crying in the car with my mom, and I think I was 17 or 18 at this time. And I remember thinking, everything is my fault. Like it's all on me. The reason I'm unhappy is me. The reason I'm depressed, it's me. It's all me. And it was this beautiful moment. I mean, one of the most beautiful moments in my life, because I realized the most powerful thing, which is that I have control over how I think, feel, and act. And that is when I did the flip of the switch. So that's when I did meditation, cold showers, like complete 180. And so when you look at that, I went from here to, let's say, here. So I climbed a mountain, I conquered something, and I had this crazy sense of accomplishment literally every day. Because every day I got up and I didn't scroll on my phone, and I didn't just binge watch YouTube and Netflix, and I didn't watch pornography. Every day I didn't do those things, and instead I took a cold shower and I read about some self-improvement topic. Every day I did that, that was a victory over my past self. It was a victory towards the person I wanted to be. And then when I started my business, I didn't do those things as much because I then shifted my focus from, I don't need to spend 2 hours on a morning routine, right? And I'm going to flip that switch and I'm going to go now just deep into business, starting my agency. 2019, signed our first client in November. 45 days later, we're doing 10K a month. Within a year after that, we're doing 50K a month. In that time, I also start coaching and mentoring. And all of this is to build up and say that when I started the business and then conquered that, right? I say conquered, obviously I could have gone further with it and scaled it further, right? My point is, when I conquered something, to me it was a victory, right? To me, it was a victory, a massive victory, one I was proud of. And all of that came down to a realization of I can do this, and it's all down to hard work, right? So I've had two of those key moments, from depressed to not depressed, massive victory. Then from pretty much broke to building the businesses that I want and making the money that I never thought I could actually make, two massive victories. And then when I got to this year and I became a millionaire, I thought this was going to be victory number 3. Like, I really thought that I would just be like, oh my days, like I have it all figured out, this is amazing. But I've actually felt almost less sure about money than I ever have been, because once you get 1 million, you now start to compare yourself with the other guys that have 5, 10, 20, 100. And comparison is the thief of joy, but as humans, it's really, really fucking hard not to compare. And you're watching this video probably trying to compare to me, and again, that's going to strip you of your happiness. And I guess this is just a really, really long way of me trying to open up more and create more of this authentic content of what's actually going through my head as a business owner. Because as of right now, I am making money that categorically is good money, right? If you were to make that money tomorrow, you would be over the moon, right? You would be amazed, you'd be delighted. But at the same time, I do find myself getting stuck looking at other people that have more than me. And one exercise I've started to do recently, because I know that I've struggled with this, is I've started to write down, if I'm looking at a guy that's doing 400K a month, 800K a month, a million a month, whatever, right? If I look at him, I'm now not just looking at the result he has. I'm now starting to actually look and say, what also does he have? What other baggage does he have? He has 20 full-time employees. He's got 200K a month in fixed costs of all of his employees. He's got all these other things. So I'm starting to point out the negatives, right? The things that I wouldn't necessarily want from that person. And so what this is now helping me do is it's helping me get clearer on what I actually want, right? Because what I wanted when I was building my agency was just a massive company with tons of people. We had 20 people at one time. Then my goal switched to I don't want that. And now it's very, very similar. I don't want 20 people on a team. So would I like to make $1 million in a month? If I could make $1 million, if I can make $1 million in a month with the team structure I have now, with not too many changes in terms of overheads and fixed costs and extra stressors, I would probably say yes. But I do know realistically, the fastest, quickest way for me to get to $1 million a month would be to not do that, right? It would to sacrifice, make a massive change, and run my business completely differently. So that's where I am at, Millionaire 25. And again, even saying it, like, it just feels weird to even say it sometimes, because I've completely solidified myself in that identity of that is who I am and what I am. But even as I say it, as I mentioned, I'm still kind of thinking of the guys that are 2 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead of me. So it is what it is. What I want you to take away from this video is that comparison really is a thief of joy. That is the first lesson. The second lesson is that when you have big victories, oftentimes not that you dip down, but you can have a massive victory and then a slump, because you're so happy that you conquered the victory and you can get comfortable. And lastly, lesson number 3, I want you to take the time to realize what your goals are and not prescribing to the goals of somebody else who has 20 million in their bank, right? Prescribe to your own goals. Like, what do you actually want? Don't just say you want 1 million, right? Or 1 million in a month or 2 million a year. Like, what do you also not want? Because that's almost as important, as otherwise you'll build a business and life that you probably hate. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.